Let me tell you a story. Can I tell you a story? Right, here's a story. This is a true story. It's a great story, if I do say so myself. It's how the whole, it's called what goes around comes around. Do you know that idea? Just let it be and it'll all work itself out in your own way. So I used to work for a car company in Scotland. My job was to deliver them. I was the lowest. I always got the low jobs, but I took the jobs that bought me time to work on music. So I would go, they would send me out on the train to pick up a car from a client, a customer, and bring it back in. So I picked one up that needed a service. I got a bit excited, and I smashed it into a roundabout. What do you call a roundabout here? Roundabout? Turning circle? Roundabout. And I thought, I'm in soapy bubble now. So I go back to the boss, and I tell him how terribly sorry I am. And very warmly, he puts his arm around me and says, we get enthusiastic salesmen all the time that do stupid things. Don't worry. Great. Good. I was nervous to tell him. So the workshop manager gets his bonus at the end of the year by how much he doesn't spend from the pot for mistakes. So this was to come out of the pot. But I overheard him on the phone to the guy whose car I'd brought saying, I don't know how it happened, but we seem to have found a crack in your wheel. That'll cost £5,000. And I'm thinking, but I told the boss, and he says it's coming out of the surplus workshop budget, and you're lying to the guy. So then the workshop manager had the cheek to say to me, I want you to deliver it back. I said, there is no way, after I had the guts and the nervousness to tell the boss the truth, that I'm going to stare a guy in the eye and give him back his car knowing that you've taken his trousers down. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. For want of a better phrase. So I refused. The guy called me into the office, screamed at me, said that might not be the industry for me. I was nervous, shaking as anything, and I didn't say a word, and that was it. He said, sit down. I said, it's okay, I'll stand. You know, these moments in life where, in the end, I didn't work there for long. It was by attrition. I was no longer necessarily welcome, but this is what happened. There was a car that was £130,000. This is 20 years ago, which is... Everybody does, right? It's the best car in the world. And a guy had just bought one brand new, and there's a creak coming from the windscreen. A creak, a noise coming from the windshield. And they send me out to get it, to bring it back. And they've flown up the guys from London to come and check it out, because the guy says, I want my money back. It's like buying a pair of pants and saying, don't like them, I want my money back. But this is £130,000. So they want to try and make sure that it's okay. I pick up the car, driving back. I'm driving past Glasgow Airport, and there's a yump in the road. Do you know what I mean by a yump? And in front of me, there's a dumpster, a skip, and it's empty, save for one boulder. And there's a mesh over it, save for one hole in the mesh. And the truck goes through the dumpster, through the yump. The boulder gets catapulted out, lands in the bonnet, smashes the windscreen, rolls over the car that I'm driving. Once again, I got a little bit of a fright. I pull up beside the guy, and I'm trying to gesture to him, you've just done this. He's none the wiser. Who are you? Get lost. You know, in Scotland, if you've got you're the enemy instantly. But anyway, so I call up this guy who'd screamed at me and said these words. I said, I've got good news and bad news. What's the good news? No more noise from the windscreen. What's the bad news? No more windscreen. And once again, he yelled at me to come back, and sure enough, they did the usual. They swapped the bonnet, swapped the windscreen, didn't tell the guy, but the guy said, I don't want the car. And in other words, they didn't get away with it. And then I lost the job. But it's a good story. There we go.